Having narrowly escaped death when their car was forced from the road, Philippa Fairfax and his beautiful wife Philippa managed to hitch a lift to the aerodrome, just in time for the flight to Ireland. Soaring high above the Irish Sea, little did the investigative duo realize that they were flying straight into the gaping jaws of danger. Listen on to discover more in this thrilling episode of Philippa Fairfax and the Stolen Statue.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Fairfax, and welcome aboard. You may unfasten your seatbelts. Oh, I see you're not wearing them. Anyway, I'll be back shortly with the tea and coffee.
Don't you have anything stronger? We've had a ghastly night.
Of course. I'll be back for the drinks, Charlie, in a moment.
Oh, that was a close one, my love.
Gosh, I do love flying, dear. I feel so sorry for all those poor people down there travelling by charabanc and unicycle and whatnot.
Yes, it's the perfect way to relax and get our thoughts together after that ghastly business on the road.
If only we'd apprehended the driver of the lorry, then we could have found out why he was trying to kill us.
Oh, but he must have legged it into the fog the second we crashed. But I did get a good look at his face, and it's not one I'll forget in a hurry, I can tell you. He had a big scar down his left cheek, an eye patch over his left eye, a hook on the stump of his left arm, and his left leg was wooden, and his left ear had been replaced with a metal plate.
What a sight!
All of which points to one thing. The man is clearly right-handed.
Good God, darling, you are clever.
I also noted something else. He had an orchid sticking out of his ear, and he reeked of compost. Most odd.
What would you like to drink then, Mr. and Mrs. Fairfax?
Your whiskey for me, and...
I'll have a brandy.
Certainly.
Yes, please.
Ah, that's the stuff.
So, what's our next move, darling?
I found a clue at the crime scene suggesting a thief may be Irish. The calling card, which reads, Colonel O'Dooley, professional statue thief and labourer, no job too strenuous. Seriously, I've got a really bad back.
I can almost feel us closing in on the statue. I feel like celebrating. Excuse me, stewardess.
Yes, madam?
Could we have a bottle of champagne, please?
Of course, Mrs. Fairfax.
Cheers, darling.
Cheers.
Will there be anything else before we land?
Yeah, better bring another bottle of bubbly.
Certainly, Mr. Fairfax.
Darling, don't you think it's a little odd that she knows our name?
Not really. All good stewardesses familiarise themselves with the passenger manifest before a flight. Besides, we're the only passengers on board.
I know. And isn't that a bit strange, too?
It is the first flight of the day. It's probably too early for most.
I suppose you're right. Golly, you are clever, Philip. I suppose it must be your university education.
It may surprise you to learn this, darling, but I didn't actually go to university.
Philip, how could you?
Steady on there. The reason I didn't go to university is that I didn't need to. The deans of both Oxford and Cambridge said there was no point in me attending as I was far too clever already and there was nothing they could teach me. In fact, they begged me to become a professor so that I may impart my genius to others. I refused, of course.
Oh, Philip, you are so wonderful. But reminds me, where has that stewardess gone with our champagne?
I'll go and investigate.
And ask her to find out where that glass is coming from. Oh, you're back. Philip, what's wrong?
Darling, I need you to listen to me very carefully and don't do anything silly.
They're not out of champagne, are they? Oh, God, no!
No, darling. I couldn't find the stewardess. She's gone.
Gone where? You must tell the captain.
I tried to, but he's gone too. So has the co-pilot. And the piano player.
What about the cocktail waitress? And the ragtime band? And the exotic dancers? And that charming ethnic fellow who sweeps the floor and whistles gospel tunes?
They're not here. In fact, I'm not sure they were here in the first place. We are the only people on board.
Then who is flying the airplane?
No one. I could land us safely. I am a qualified pilot after all, but it's a moot point.
Why?
Because we've run out of fuel. We're going to crash, and there aren't any parachutes.
Oh, dear, what are we going to do?
I'm sorry, darling, but I'm afraid there's nothing we can do, except finish this champagne and face our doom.
Is it the end for Philip Fairfax and his stunning wife, Philippa? Can Philip come up with a last-minute plan to save their bacon, or is it their last hope? Tune in later for the next nail-biting episode of Philip Fairfax and the Stolen Statue.